All right, welcome into the February market update as we kind of head towards the end of winter and into the spring market. We've got some big news. I'm going to go over that here shortly, and then we're going to dive into some numbers on the screen. Um, According to some economists, we are going to see a drop in interest rates as we enter into the early to mid-May timeframe. And that is mainly driven on the reporting that's going to come out in early May for the inflation rates. It's projected that inflation numbers are going to be lower based on the rolling 12-month cycle. It's going to be reported that inflation is down a significant amount when we get into May, that will actually trigger a decrease in the interest rate, something that maybe could put us into the low fives or even maybe break the five barrier into the fours. So that would be huge news for the market. It would be great news for the market, but it is also something to consider if you are a buyer, if you're thinking about buying a home anytime from now all the way through the spring and summer. Just keep in mind, demand is going to spike up much higher if that does happen in May. So if you're searching for a home, or if you're thinking about diving into the market and thinking about searching for a home this spring, my advice to you would be get out there sooner than later and start seeing the inventory. Maybe you can negotiate a good value on a property before we get to that time frame where demand is likely to increase significantly. Now, on that note, we've already seen a great increase in demand from the November, December timeframe to the January, February timeframe. In fact, demand is up almost 40% over the last 30 days as compared to the previous 30 days. And that's based on the number of showings that have occurred over the last 30 days. The market is already heating it up and is already very strong as we enter into the late winter, early spring. And based on the numbers I just discussed, it's pretty likely that we're going to see even stronger demand as we get into that May timeframe. So let's go ahead and dive into the numbers on the screen and talk a little bit about what else has been happening. Okay, so these are the numbers for this January, looking back over the last month or so. So the first thing I want to point out to you is absorption rates. Absorption rates have been declining since November, and that is driven by the lack of inventory that we still have here in Central Ohio. The other thing I want to look at is the list price to sales price ratio. This one right here on the bottom of the screen. As you can see, the list price to sales price ratio has been on the decline for a while. It is finally leveled out. It started to increase in a few specific areas, but across the Columbus MLS overall, it's leveled out here in January, and we're likely to see that start to climb back up as we enter in the spring. Again, a sign of higher demand. So all that depends on what happens with interest rates, but if they stay level or decline like I just talked about, then we're going to see that continue to rise back to where it was last spring. Now, as far as home price appreciation goes, if you look at the average and the median sales price, January of 23 versus January of 22, we're up around 4% in home price appreciation, which is a steady number, not like we had seen in the years past, but still a strong number for homeowners across the country, and especially those here in Central Ohio. So overall, the numbers that we're seeing, we have a strong level of demand, and I expect that to continue to increase as we approach the spring. If you are thinking about buying a home, absolutely, get that process started right away and see if you can get yourself locked into something sooner than late spring. If you're thinking about selling a home, I think we're on an upward trajectory. So anytime between now and the spring is always a good time to be listing your property. And I would caution you to not wait to get into the summer, because we aren't sure what's going to happen. Usually we see a shift in market cycle in the summer months. So absolutely, reach out to someone like myself and start having that conversation sooner than later. So that is your February market update. And I will see y'all in the